insider Shams Charania reporting that the Hornets have contacted the league disputing the Lakers' failed physical of Mark Williams. Doncic, a vertical threat, but sent him back after the physical. And that's what's missing right now when you look at LeBron and the Lakers, especially after last night's performance here.
Things have gotten so crazy following the Anthony Davis-Luka Doncic trade that typically I would try to bring all the information for you guys in one video, but both the Los Angeles Lakers and especially the Dallas Mavericks are dealing with so much drama as a result of this recent trade. So we're separating it into two separate videos for you guys because I don't want to make one gigantic hour-long video where some people feel like there's information that they didn't need. And for the Los Angeles Lakers specifically, they made a brand new addition as a result of the recent turmoil they've been undergoing themselves. Now guys, we've had an absolutely crazy week over the past 10 days covering the Luka Doncic trade, also covering the Super Bowl on my NFL channel. A lot of you guys have been requesting that I start making baseball content. I decided to give it a shot now that the NFL season's a little bit slower. We created a brand new channel called Uni Diamond Talk. We're going to be giving away 10 copies of MLB The Show to subscribers that turn on our notifications for that brand new channel. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. And now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Ever since I've gotten this sponsorship, I've been trying to figure out a way to game the system so I can earn my subscribers money, and I finally did it this past week. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you all the messages I've been receiving over the past few days as a result of all the people making money with my picks. I have a model that has exponentially increased our hit rate, and if you don't believe me, just look at my DMs. I mean, people have been blowing up my DMs with all the money they've been making. We made thousands of dollars on Prize Picks this past week, but use my promo code microphone when you sign up for Prize Picks to get $50 when you make a play of $5 or more. Mic check 1212. What's going on, everybody? My apologies for being late on this news, guys. We all needed a day off after all the sleepless nights we've been getting as a result of the recent news coming out. But Luka Doncic recently made his debut for the Los Angeles Lakers. They averaged 139 points per 100 possessions with him on the floor. And although I guess that's a metric that's a bit skewed as a result of them playing one of the worst teams in the NBA, it still is very promising for the Los Angeles Lakers offense. Now, I'm sure you guys know, very shortly after the Lakers traded for Luka Doncic, they made another huge trade. It was a huge trade. Trading Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish, a 2031 unprotected first-round pick, and a 2030 pick swap to the Charlotte Hornets for center Mark Williams. There's a very legitimate reason why the Lakers made this trade. Following the trade of Anthony Davis, the Lakers' front court looked extremely weak, with Jackson Hayes and Christian Coloco as the only true centers on the roster. Now, it's impossible to replace the defensive production and the offensive firepower that Anthony Davis gives you. He is the complete package as a power forward / center. He's an excellent screener, he's an amazing rim protector, and he's also an incredible perimeter defender. But in this case, the Lakers were already focused on trying to give Luka Doncic an ideal lob threat so he can make his reads. And Ramona Shelburne told us this. Very shortly after trading for Luka Doncic, he impressed upon Lakers brass his desire to play with a lob threat, a mobile big whose vertical spacing gives Doncic another option when making his reads, which is a huge staple in the spread pick and roll. You see, whenever Luka runs the spread pick and roll with a lob threat, there are multiple options that open up for him. If the opposing team plays drop coverage and there's a 2-on-1, then Luka Doncic is usually in a great position to take a step back mid-range jumper to exploit the 2-on-1 and to keep the 2-on-1 honest. But if they cheat on Luka Doncic too much, then typically the lob threat center will be wide open. So Luka Doncic would either throw an alley-oop or dish it inside for his center. But let's say the defense decides to cheat a little bit, trying to neutralize Luka Doncic and the center. Then typically it means one of Luka Doncic's teammates, a three-point shooter, will be wide open. And Luka is phenomenal at making these reads, and LeBron James isn't that bad at it either. As a matter of fact, he's one of the best players at running the spread pick and roll as well. Having two players that are capable of doing this on one offense is something we've never seen before, at least at the level of LeBron James and Luka Doncic, but it's only possible if you have a center that is capable of catching those alley-oops from Luka. So the Lakers, understanding this, quickly quickly decided to make this trade for Mark Williams. And this was doubled down from Ramona Shelburne, saying that the Lakers have been looking for a big once they got Luka this week. They knew exactly what kind of big they wanted. From what I've heard in Luka's initial basketball conversations, he told Lakers GM Rob Pelinka he played best when he had a vertical lob threat. Now pay attention to this next sentence. When Charlotte called saying they liked Dalton Knecht and might be willing to discuss Mark Williams, the deal came into place. So bear in mind, Charlotte called Los Angeles about this particular trade. And don't get me wrong, it's a home run trade for the Los Angeles Lakers. In Mark Williams' brief period with the Hornets this past season, he's averaged about 16 points per game, about 10 rebounds per game, a 26.5 player efficiency rating, and the tallest standing reach in the NBA. He has an offensive box plus minus of a 4 and a defensive box plus minus of a 1 on one of the worst teams in the NBA, which is incredibly impressive. The problem is that Mark Williams has played in the NBA for 3 seasons, and throughout those 3 seasons, he's played in 85 games. So there's a huge question over how healthy Mark Williams could be. And that's something I mentioned in my original trade video, because if Mark Williams is fully healthy, then Luka Doncic has his ideal pick and roll partner for the foreseeable future on the Los Angeles Lakers. And this is a dream scenario for Mark Williams. You go from a team that is in a smaller market, that is in the midst of a rebuild in the Charlotte Hornets, to one of the most exciting teams in the NBA that just made one of the most exciting trades in NBA history. For the rest of your career, if you can stay healthy, Luka Doncic is going to make you look really good and make you a lot of money. But the problem was that the Lakers decided to rescind this trade, according to Shams Charania. And the reason was Mark Williams apparently failed his physical. Now this screws over the Los Angeles Lakers because now the Lakers don't have a center that could be that ideal lob threat with Luka Doncic, but even worse, the trade deadline's officially over. So the Lakers don't have that prototypical center unless if Jackson Hayes really takes the next step. Now I know what fans might be thinking. Jackson Hayes was incredible in Luka Doncic's debut, having one of his best games as a Los Angeles Laker. The man was actually flawless with 12 points, 3 steals, 1 block, and 2 rebounds in their victory against the Utah Jazz. The thing is, this is the Utah Jazz, and my concern is more once the Los Angeles Lakers face off against the Denver Nuggets or the Minnesota Timberwolves or the Houston Rockets. I mean, this front court is a huge weakness for the Los Angeles Lakers, and unfortunately, it doesn't really seem like there is a solution to this. Now, following the trade being rescinded, things really have gotten crazy for the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, Mark Williams and Dalton Knecht return to their original teams, the Lakers get their original assets, and Dalton Knecht reportedly told JJ Redick prior to Luka's debut that he'll need more time to process everything before returning to play. But according to this community note, JJ Redick came out and said that he met with Dalton Knecht and understands he still needs time to process everything. Redick never said that Knecht used those exact words or that he didn't want to play. But if you just take a look at Dalton Knecht on the Lakers bench, he doesn't look happy. I mean, and I can't really blame him. It's a tough business. You just got drafted onto the Los Angeles Lakers. Fans love you and love how well you've been playing this past year, only for you to get traded for Mark Williams. And this isn't the only clip of this. I mean, if you just take a look at Luka Doncic's debut versus the Utah Jazz, Knecht just doesn't look happy to be on the Lakers. And it's a tough business, and I could understand it, but at least you're still on the Los Angeles Lakers for the foreseeable future. I hope he could get past this really soon, because at the end of the day, he's going to be an instrumental part of our rotation moving forward. But now there's a huge gaping hole in the Lakers front court. So the Los Angeles Lakers did pretty much the only thing they could do at this point, and that's signing the best fit at center for them. So according to Shams Charania, the Los Angeles Lakers signed Alex Len and waived Christian Wood in the wake of the Mark Williams trade. Now, on top of this, what's even crazier is the Charlotte Hornets aren't happy with the fact that the Lakers rescinded the trade. So they've officially filed a motion with the league office to dispute the Lakers' failed physical for Mark Williams. Charlotte believes that Williams is fully healthy, and they were transparent with the Lakers throughout negotiations before it was accepted. Now, ultimately, this isn't going to go through because it's up to the Lakers to decide whether or not Mark Williams is healthy enough for this trade to go through. And according to the CBA, this could even be based off of the risk of future injury. So if the Los Angeles Lakers look at Mark Williams and think that he is going to get injured in the future, then they could say he didn't pass his physical. And Bobby Marks even comments on this.
What will happen next is we're going to get into a lawyer fest where the lawyers from the Hornets and the lawyers from the Lakers will go to court and the NBA will be judge and jury, and they will eventually issue a ruling, which I would say 99.9% that it will be in favor of the Lakers.
So now that the Mark Williams trade has officially fallen through, this brings us to where the Los Angeles Lakers are as a team. How do they move forward? Who is going to be the replacement for Mark Williams? Who's going to be the replacement for Anthony Davis? Well, it's impossible to replace Anthony Davis, but the Lakers could try, and it seems like they tried here. So according to Shams Charania, the Los Angeles Lakers waived Christian Wood in order to sign Alex Len. The 7-foot, 250-pound big provides the Lakers with much needed size and physicality after the nixed Mark Williams trade. So Alex Len and Jackson Hayes are the only two centers on the Los Angeles Lakers 15-man roster. He's 31 years old, and a lot of people are gassing up this signing, but to be honest, it is impossible to gas up this signing. Nothing against Alex Len, but Alex Len has barely been cracking the rotation over the last 3 years. I mean, playing about 6 minutes per game, and even before then, he didn't really show that he was an incredible center. I mean, yeah, you're gonna look at these highlight clips of Alex Len nailing threes, but at the same time, when you take a look at his statistics, this is a guy that has averaged about half a 3-point attempt per game throughout his career, and this isn't even just skewing statistics from the earlier part of his career. He really tried to shoot threes during the 2018-19 season with Atlanta, and he was mildly successful, averaging 2.6 3-point attempts per game and sinking about 36% of them. And this was his best season of his career, so this is kind of wishful thinking, but the Lakers essentially have to hope that Alex Len could come in, start hitting threes at a consistent clip, and crack this rotation. And even then, it's not necessarily a signing that I feel very optimistic about. Now, it's important to note that Alex Len signed with the Los Angeles Lakers on a prorated veteran minimum contract, which means that the Lakers have enough room under the second apron hard cap for another prorated veteran minimum signing should they want to make one, and I expect them to make one. This is unfortunate for Christian Wood, primarily because Christian Wood had a remarkable season when he played with Luka Doncic, and he was the prototypical forward that could potentially occupy that big man role that the Lakers needed, who could stretch the floor and provide some decent defense. But unfortunately for Christian Wood, he hasn't been healthy and he hasn't been able to crack the rotation for the Los Angeles Lakers this year. So as a result, it's kind of a no-brainer to make this decision. At the end of the day, I think it's a solid addition for the Los Angeles Lakers, but I still have concerns. Now, if you guys didn't hear, Luka Doncic just made his debut and it changed everything for the Los Angeles Lakers. I'll leave a link to that in the end screen and also the video where we cover Anthony Davis's debut. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.